Imagine you are sitting outside with a group of friends on a warm summer evening. A few minutes pass and suddenly you are swatting mosquitoes every few seconds. Meanwhile, everyone else seems completely unaffected. If you have ever felt like mosquitoes have a personal grudge against you, you are not imagining things. Science has shown that mosquitoes really do prefer some people over others. But how can a tiny insect decide who to bite, and why does it always seem to choose the same people? The answer involves body chemistry, heat, bacteria, genetics, and millions of years of evolution. Let's take a closer look. First, why do mosquitoes bite humans at all? Not all mosquitoes bite humans, and among the species that do, only the females are responsible for those itchy bites. Male mosquitoes spend their lives feeding mainly on flower nectar and plant sugars. Female mosquitoes also drink nectar, but they have an additional job: producing eggs. To develop those eggs, they need proteins, amino acids, and other nutrients that nectar simply can't provide. Blood contains everything they need. That's why female mosquitoes evolved specialized mouthparts capable of piercing skin and drawing blood. In other words, mosquitoes aren't biting you because they are hungry. They are collecting nutrients for the next generation. How mosquitoes find you? At first glance, finding a human might seem difficult. After all, mosquitoes are tiny and humans can be hundreds of times larger than they are. Yet, mosquitoes are remarkably good at tracking us down. The first clue they use is carbon dioxide. Every time you exhale, you release carbon dioxide in the air. Female mosquitoes have specialized sensory organs called maxillary palps that can detect even tiny increases in carbon dioxide concentration. In some species, they can detect these signals from more than 10 meters away. Think of carbon dioxide as the mosquito's early warning system. It tells her that a living creature is nearby. Once she detects the signal, she begins flying upwind towards its source. But carbon dioxide alone isn't enough. The mosquito needs to identify exactly where you are, and that's where her biological tracking system becomes even more impressive. The mosquito's biological GPS. After detecting carbon dioxide, mosquitoes start searching for additional clues. They look for body heat, they detect moisture, and they analyze chemical compounds released from the skin. It's almost like a multi-step GPS system. Carbon dioxide tells the mosquito that someone is nearby. Heat tells her where to land, and skin chemicals help her decide whether you are worth biting. By combining all these signals, mosquitoes can locate humans with incredible accuracy. Considering that mosquitoes have existed for over 100 million years, evolution has given them plenty of time to perfect this system. Why your sweat makes you more attractive? Have you ever noticed that mosquitoes seem worse after exercising? That's not a coincidence. Sweat contains several chemicals that mosquitoes can detect. One of the most important is lactic acid. Your body produces more lactic acid during physical activity, and mosquitoes are highly sensitive to it. Sweat also contains ammonia and other compounds that contribute to your unique scent. The more of these chemicals you release, the easier it becomes for mosquitoes to find you. This is why runners, hikers, athletes, and people doing outdoor activities often attract more mosquito attention than people sitting still nearby. Can what you drink or eat affect mosquitoes? As if body heat and sweat weren't enough, some studies suggest that what you consume may also influence how attractive you are to mosquitoes. One particularly surprising example is beer. In a study investigating mosquito behavior, researchers found that significantly more mosquitoes were attracted to people after they drank beer compared to those who drank water. What's interesting is that scientists couldn't fully explain why. The increase wasn't linked to higher body temperature. It also wasn't linked to greater carbon dioxide production. Yet mosquitoes still showed a clear preference for the beer drinkers. Researchers are still investigating the exact mechanism behind this effect, but the findings suggest that enjoying a cold beer outdoors could make you a more noticeable target. And alcohol isn't the only thing that may matter. For years, people have claimed that certain foods make mosquitoes more likely to bite. Most of these claims remain unproven, but scientists have identified one surprising exception: bananas. In a study published in the journal Insects, researchers found that people experienced more mosquito contact after eating bananas. The reason isn't fully understood, but scientists suspect that certain foods may temporarily alter body odor or the chemical compounds released through the skin. The hidden world living on your skin. Now things get even stranger. Every human body is covered in trillions of microorganisms. This ecosystem is known as the skin microbiome. Different species of bacteria live on different people's skin. As these bacteria interact with sweat and oils, they produce unique odor molecules. In other words, everyone has a slightly different scent signature. Researchers have discovered that mosquitoes can distinguish between these scent signatures. Some people naturally produce odors that mosquitoes find highly attractive. Others produce odors that mosquitoes find much less interesting. In a study, participants attractive to mosquitoes had larger but less diverse microbial communities than those less attractive. This means your skin bacteria may be influencing how often you get bitten, and most of the time, you don't even notice it. Does blood type matter? You've probably heard someone claim that mosquitoes love people with type O blood. Surprisingly, there is some scientific evidence supporting that idea. Several studies have found that mosquitoes land more frequently on people with type O blood than people with type A blood. Scientists believe this may be linked to chemical markers that some people release through their skin. These markers could potentially reveal blood type before a mosquito even bites. However, researchers caution that blood type is only one factor among many. Your body odor, skin bacteria, carbon dioxide production, and body temperature likely play a much larger role. So yes, blood type may matter, but it probably isn't the whole story. Why pregnant women get more mosquito bites? Scientists have also discovered that pregnant women tend to attract more mosquitoes. There are two main reasons. First, pregnant women generally exhale more carbon dioxide. Second, their body temperature is often slightly higher. Since mosquitoes use both carbon dioxide and heat to find hosts. These changes can make pregnant women easier to locate. This is one of the clearest examples of how small biological differences can significantly affect mosquito behavior. Even your clothes can influence mosquitoes. Believe it or not, mosquitoes don't rely only on smell, they also use vision. Research suggests that mosquitoes are more attracted to darker colors such as black, navy blue, and dark green. These colors create stronger visual contrast against the environment. Lighter colors are often less noticeable, so if you are wearing dark clothing outdoors, you may unknowingly be making yourself easier to spot. Can you actually reduce mosquito bites? The good news is that while you can't change your genetics or blood type, there are several ways to make yourself a less appealing target. Wear light-colored clothing whenever possible. Cover exposed skin with long sleeves and long pants, especially during dawn and dusk when many mosquito species are most active. Use insect repellents containing ingredients such as DEET, picaridin, or oil of lemon eucalyptus, which have been shown to reduce mosquito bites effectively. Remove standing water around your home. Even small amounts of water in buckets, flower pots, bird baths, or old tires can become mosquito breeding grounds. The real reason mosquitoes choose you. So why do mosquitoes bite some people more than others? The answer isn't luck, it's biology. Every person releases a unique combination of carbon dioxide, body heat, skin chemicals, bacterial odors, and visual signals. To us, these differences are invisible, but to a mosquito, they are as obvious as a bright flashing sign. After millions of years of evolution, mosquitoes have become experts at detecting those signals and finding the most attractive hosts. So, the next time you are the only person getting bitten in a group, remember, the mosquitoes aren't targeting you personally. They are responding to a biological fingerprint that makes you stand out, and unfortunately for some people, that fingerprint is simply irresistible.